Hello everyone and welcome to the next Redstone Basics video. Now today we are going to cover the TFlipFlops. And the reason why I'm speaking in plural is because I'm going to show you two types of TFlipFlops, which is kinda cool because one of them is the classic one and the other one is more specialized. But first I'm going to explain to you what a TFlipFlop actually is. A TFlipFlop makes a button signal into a lever signal. That means that when you press the button one time, the signal stays on, and when you press the button a second time, the signal goes off, and yeah, just like with a lever. And this is what this TFlipFlop does, or what every TFlipFlop does actually. So I am going to show you the first design for a TFlipFlop that basically everyone should know. So this is the most basic design for a TFlipFlop you can have. Now let's have a look at it. As I mentioned earlier, if you press this button, the signal should stay on or should go off. So right now it's on. With the button it goes off. We hit it again, the signal goes and stays on. And this is basically a TFlipFlop. Now, to build such a TFlipFlop, you start off with a piston facing into one direction, and 2 blocks away from it, another piston facing to the opposite direction, just like that. Place one redstone block in between the pistons, place 2 blocks on top with redstone on top, one button here, and torches here and here. And the redstone block is going to be your output. If you have the output on the same side as the button is, be sure that the button and the output signal are not on the same side, because otherwise the button could activate the redstone. So this is basically a TFlipFlop. Now again, we hit the button, the signal goes on and stays on, and if we hit it again, it goes off and stays off. And this is exactly what this TFlipFlop does. The input button doesn't have to be right here, it can also be just extended with a redstone line as many blocks as you want, but don't forget a redstone signal ends after 15 blocks, so be sure to place a repeater. Now, it works exactly the same way. Now, that's not a problem. How does this design work? Now, the way such a TFlipFlop works is kinda, well, complicated, because as we can see, the pistons do not retract, and the reason for that is that they receive butt power from right here. Which means that we're basically using a bug to create a TFlipFlop. But Mojang hasn't fixed this thing yet. It didn't fix the butt switches, so I think that this TFlip is going to work for a while now. Yeah, so this is the first TFlipFlop, kinda complicated how it works. Now, I'm going to show you a second design for a TFlipFlop. Before I show this design to you, I've got to mention that there are 2 ways you can have this design. The first way is just like that, but this has, well, a little problem that I'm going to show you soon. And the second one is a bit bigger, but it does not have that problem. So let's take a look at it. The reason why I have a piston right here is not because it's needed for the circuit. It's just to show you what I mean with this problem. So if we hit this button, we can see the piston is extended, which is basically a good sign. Now, if we hit the button again, we can see the piston is down, which is exactly what a TFlipFlop should do. Now, you may have seen the problem. When I hit this button, I start this clock, which pulses, I think, 3 times, meaning that the piston actually it pulses 2 times, meaning that the piston has a little clock movement before it actually stays up or stays down. So how do you fix that? Now you need exactly 5 ticks in this circuit for it to work perfectly. Just like that. And then we can see that the piston retracting and extending, everything is working, and actually takes a bit longer for it to get a movement, but it is exactly a 5-tick circuit and works perfectly. Now, this is the second design for a TFlipFlop, and this has a great advantage that it does not make any noise. The other design made a lot of noises due to the pistons it had. Now, the problem with this design is that button spamming could ruin it. And I mean that it could exactly do what I say, ruin the whole circuit by just spamming it, meaning that sometimes the torch can burn out, which ruins the whole circuit. Sometimes the torch burnout thing is just a temporary problem and it gets, gets active again as soon as it gets a block update, but that usually takes a long time because there is no clock anymore. But sometimes it does fix itself, so I wouldn't do a button spamming on this specific design of a TFlipFlop, even though it is without a noise. It is one of the best designs I know, but still it's just something that you can break too. And one thing that I have to say about this design is that it's not as common as the other one, so you can kind of impress your friends when you say I can build a noiseless TFlipFlop, which is something that most people don't even know that exists. Actually, most people don't even know that a TFlipFlop exists, but yeah. So that is the end from today's video. I hope that you enjoyed this very short video all about TFlipFlops, which are one of the most useful things when it comes to redstoning, and especially when it comes to button redstoning, which means that you have got to, make a button signal longer or even make a lever signal out of it without having a too complicated circuit. It works in older versions of Minecraft too, so you can build this in Minecraft 1.3, but be aware that the repeater lock was introduced in Minecraft version 1.4. The reason why I didn't explain the second design is that it uses a repeater lock, which I did not cover in the very first video, where everything is about repeaters and torches. So I didn't want to, confuse you with this repeater lock, but it's existing, and yeah. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment down below, and yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope we'll see you in the next video. I'm out.